guys, welcome back to another video on my channel, and today we're going to be finally showing you how to fix Sing-a-ma-Jig. So today we're just going to do it with this one. So let's get started.
Right, so we've got a situation where the Sing-a-ma-Jig was talking sing, but we can't make the hand work. The hand doesn't work, does it?
Yeah.
So that's what we're going to hopefully fix the problem here today. First off, you're going to need a sharp knife. Be very careful, obviously, with sharp blades. And what you've got to do is try and cut the seam here. We're going to try and cut into the seam. The smaller the cut you can do, the better. But we've got to try and find the wires. A pair of scissors sometimes helps, but we'll get onto that in a minute. So we're just going to try and make the first cut now.
So what you need to cut it open. So hope you guys have the right tools for this. So then this should be open a tiny bit there. Gonna need to cut it more.
Okay, so we've got it open a little bit there.
As long as you could stop cutting when you found the wire.
So but there's a lot of stuffing in there, so it can be a bit difficult finding the wire depending on where the wire's gone. But presuming the wire's broken. Now once you've got a cut, you can put scissors in if you need to cut the seam further. Obviously the less cutting you do, the less stitching you've got to do afterwards.
Obviously we've got two clementines, like this one right here. This one's hand doesn't work either, so
I'm just putting my finger in now to try and find the wire. You may have to get through some stuffing to get to it.
Is it over there?
I can't feel any wires. Sometimes the wires break, sometimes they pull back. It looks like we're going to have to cut back further. So we're going to have to cut with this one. We've got to cut further down this seam here.
Yeah, where that line is.
So I'm going to use scissors for this. Once you've got your first cut, scissors are probably safer. So we've cut that back a bit more. What happens is where you push the Sing-a-ma-Ling's tummy, it traps the wires and pulls them out. So if you aim for that kind of area, sometimes you find the wires. Today, that's not happening. I think I found them.
Oh, so there should be two wires. So guys, don't bother just opening your whole Sing-a-ma-Jig up. All you need to do is cut down the hand and then just like try and feel it. Don't take all of the fur off.
We seem not having a lot of luck with this one.
Have you found what, Crystal? Shush.
Right, okay, so I've pulled the stuffing out a bit more there.
Crystal, shh.
I pulled the stuffing out. I don't know if you can see inside. There's the two wires we're looking for. Sometimes one breaks, sometimes two break. In this case, they've both broken. So there's the end of the wires.
All we need to do is grab the scissors.
Now we're going to use pliers today.
Oh.
Pliers. Wire cutters are best, or wire strippers are best, but I haven't got any of those with me at the moment, so we're going to try and strip these back with pliers. You have to be very careful that you don't cut the wire.
Yeah.
So you have to grip the wire, I don't know if you can see this or not, grip the wire with the pliers and then pull the insulation off. It's not the easiest thing to do, particularly when you get it wrong.
I thought you had it like first try when you were doing it with the scissors.
Let's see if we can do it. Scissors, so I did work with the scissors, I thought these would be better.
If not, we'll just try with the scissors.
Oh, there we are.
Oh, there
Can we see that?
Yep, we can.
See, I've cut the insulation back on that one. Let's try this one. So this is the first step, so obviously we found out what's wrong. Sometimes we find just one broken wire.
Yep, but sometimes two, like this one was two.
Right, okay, I don't know if you can see those.
I'm going to have a go, okay? So,
here we are. So if I just... Should we show them while I've got hold of them?
Yeah.
We've got two stripped wires
you should
there.
say how do you do.
How do you do?
There we are. Now, because the wires were inside the arm here, we found them... Obviously, this is going to have to be stitched up again afterwards, but we found the wires inside the arm. So we've now got to find the switch.
So make sure you've got a person living in your house or someone that you have, that could stitch.
The switches are often stitched inside. So actually inside this bit here. So we're going to have to cut this to get the switch out. Scissors are the best thing here.
So guys, you don't need to damage it that much. All you need to do is like damage the hand and then...
Right, so hopefully we can try and get the switch out. Right, there's the switch. So the wires, there's the switch there. The wires have pulled right out of the switch.
So
Before
what
we've had the wires stay in the switch and they've just broken. So we've got to try and get the switch apart. Now this can be a bit fiddly.
This was my first Sing-a-ma-Jig.
But if you push on these lugs here, there's one either side, then the top should come off the switch. Should. Sometimes you have to go down the side here. Actually, that's a bit better actually. And then push from underneath. I don't know if we saw that or not. Did we see that on the camera? Let's try again. You have to go down the side here, and then you can lever the top of the switch up. Sometimes push from underneath here, but be very gentle because it's a tiny micro switch inside. There's the switch there.
That's a...
I don't know if we can maybe use a screwdriver, but listen. That's the switch making. That should just come out of there quite easily. Should.
Let's do it on the other side. It should work on the other side.
There we are. I don't know if we saw that. It's a little bit fiddly.
Excuse me.
Right, here we are. Here's where the wires have come off. I don't know if you can see that very well, but they come off the end bits here. We're going to have to solder these back on, so ideally get someone who knows what they're doing with a soldering iron. Obviously the same with the knife as well. We've got to be very careful with a couple of things on here, so get an adult to help if you're not old enough. But let's we'll just get the soldering iron warmed up now.
Okay, so guys, we're ready to show you. This is the most dangerous part.
Now, right, we've got to be very careful. I've got the soldering iron nice and hot. Let's see if we can get that in there because we're on close up at the moment. Soldering iron's nice and hot.
Yeah.
And we don't want to burn anything at all. And obviously the Sing-a-ma-Jig will get melted or burnt by this, so be very, very careful. What we're going to do is called tinning the wires now. So we're going to heat up the wire and then apply a bit of solder to it.
So now you guys see how hot it is. That flames do come out.
Okay, and then we're going to do the other one. I don't know if the other one's in the picture, is it? Is the other one there?
Well, they
we're
can
doing
see
the
the
same-
soldering iron.
We're doing the same on the other wire.
So if you didn't see that, guys, all you need to do is just do the same on the other wire. And we've got to be careful not to drop this.
Right, okay, so I've tinned both wires, put solder on both wires. Now it's going to start to get a little bit more awkward now, because I don't want to burn anything.
Just putting the fin back in.
Now, here's the... Can we see that?
Zoom out a bit.
Just a little bit so everyone can see. Now, here's the switch. Now, without burning the Sing-a-ma-Jig, let me see what we're doing here. We've got to get that wire onto the switch again. Now then, let's see if we can focus on that a bit better. Right. Okay, so we're going to heat up the solder
Very carefully.
and then heat it onto. Oops. I think that's on there. Right, that's on there. The first one's on. I don't know if we can see that at all. Probably see it better than I can. The soldering's not brilliant there. We've got a little knob of solder there. But that's alright.
Okay, so
That's okay. So that's the first one. What you don't want is these two bits here to touch together. So that bit is going to come off there. So, but as long as these two bits aren't touching, it's alright. We're going to have to clear that little bit of solder there, otherwise it won't fit back in the switch. Right, what we've done, we've got someone to hold the wire down. I've changed the angle of the camera. Someone to hold the wire down with the screwdriver. That will keep the switch still while I try and solder the other wire on. Here we go. Right, try and keep it still. Here we go.
I feel scared.
Oh, no, right, that was quick actually.
Is that all?
That was it. There we go. Simple as that. Hopefully, I'll turn the soldering iron off. If you push this switch down now. Now then, depending on how tidy my soldering is, now depends on whether we can get this back in the switch or not. Okay, so back to Mr. Sing-a-ma-Jig. It's got to fit in this top part of the housing, and that bit of plastic in the middle keeps the wires apart. And it's important to keep the wires apart. If the wires are touching all the time, then it will just keep going off without you touching it, which we don't want. So I'm going to try and put this back in the housing.
And it will waste the battery.
It will waste the battery, definitely. So here we go. Let's see how tidy my soldering was. Excuse the Sing-a-ma-Jig talking while we do
guys,
this.
we're back.
Okay, we just have to quickly...
My dad accidentally broke a wire.
I broke the wire. Just all we done was go back and re-solder exactly as I showed you before. So hopefully this will work.
We
So
didn't want to waste it.
push the button. So he works okay. Now we'll try again to reassemble the switch. We'll push that into the switch and see if we can show you or not. Get that into the switch in there and get the wires separate. So depending on how tidy your soldering is, we've got to get the wires into here.
Okay, so
Here we go again. Take two.
So guys, after you've got this in and all stitched up, it would like when you press the hand, it would feel like as good as new.
Right, I think that's in there. You're only going to find out when you come to put the top on. Now make sure you get this the right way around. The wires go through this hole here. So there's the hole, there's the other part of the switch. You simply put it on the top and push it together.
So that's how you would feel. It's just like plain like that. So if we just
There we are. There you have a go.
So
Now then,
that's-
what you've got to do is push the switch back into position inside the Sing-a-ma-Jig's hand. Here, this can be a bit fiddly, but most of the time's okay.
Well, anyway, guys, it doesn't actually take 17 minutes to do just one. Sometimes it takes like 5 minutes to do.
One thing to watch, which I should have done here, was that I've got some bare wires showing at the end here. Now, if you put the switch back in and those wires touch, then it won't work. So just be careful as you put it back in. I should have didn't cut it back as much. Right, I've got to get this. Okay, so let's tuck back in there. And what we're going to do now is ship off the Sing-a-ma-Jig to someone who knows how to sew to get this sewed back up, and we will show you what it's like very shortly on the video, probably in about an hour to us. But if you squeeze his hand, so we'll come back to you shortly.
We're back, and we're not back with Clementine. We're just doing this Hello My Baby one real quick.
Just to show you a different way they break. This time the switch is okay,
Yeah.
but you can see the wire up. We've dug into the arm. Can we see that? We dug into the arm here, split it open like we did before, and we found both wires. Here's the green. In this case, it's got a green wire, which is there. That one's okay, but the black wire has broken. So the black wire here is broken.
So what are we gonna do?
I'm just going to cut that back and solder that. So if we can we see that at all? Not much different to what we've done before. The other Sing-a-ma-Jig that we're fixing just now is off in surgery, being stitched up. We'll show you that in a minute.
Yeah.
And here, look, with this case, we've got two. Hopefully this will work now. No? Oh. So I've got to push the switch as well. Hold the two wires together there, and then push the switch. So what we're going to do here is put the two wires together. I've stripped them back.
Yeah.
put the two wires together and we twist them together.
Okay.
Twist them together like this. And then all we're going to do with this one is just run a bit of solder in there and we're done. So just like we've done before.
Okay.
But that's just to show you another way that they break.
As it's all stitched up now, my Sing-a-ma-Jig. Be a lot better now, so.